Hey everybody, Fran here. We recently finished a new music video for one of our favorite clients, Justin LaBrash, for his song See You in the Stars. As is probably evident from the title of the song, the motif of stars features heavily in the track, and as such, Justin felt that it was important that this be reflected in the music video as well. Initially, we played around with the idea of having constellations in the video and came up with some promising test footage. When it came to actually incorporating this into the video, however, we found it looked a little bit too cheesy for our liking. Still though, it's a cool effect I'll keep in my back pocket, perhaps for use in a future lyric video. Instead, we opted to incorporate the stars in a more subtle manner. As the song is split between sequences containing a narrative and sequences of Justin performing the song vocally, we thought it might be cool if in the latter sequences, Justin was singing to the heavens with a vast star field behind him, throwing the moon in a shot or two to make it just a little more epic. In my head, I thought achieving this effect would be a relatively simple matter of using some chroma keying and a bit of tracking. This was not the case, however, and completing the shots ended up being far more time consuming than I initially had predicted. For posterity's sake, and because I'm sure there are those of our supporters who are curious about what goes into the production of one of these shoots, I thought I would do a quick making of video taking you through the step-by-step process of transforming one of these clips from raw footage to a completed and color-corrected shot ready to be consumed by Justin's audience. Alright, so first things first, I'll show you a quick before and after. Here's the shot before anything has been done to it. We filmed Justin on a clear, cloudless day just outside of Saskatoon. We shot this footage on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the wider shots on a slider and tripod with a 24mm lens, and the medium to close-ups with our Ronin S gimbal and a 50mm lens. We felt it was important to have quite a bit of motion in the frame to sell the grand feeling of the chorus, as well as to support the message of the song, which is all about transitioning. And here's the after shot as it appears in the final video. Before and after. Now let's move on to the actual making of. So, the first step in the process is to remove the sky, which is super easy to say. Super easy to say. To achieve this, I used a combination of chroma keying and what I'm going to call auto-rotoscoping. In essence, I manually separated my foreground elements from the sky in the first frame of the video, and then I used the software, which in my case is an amazing program called After Effects developed by Adobe, to analyze the rest of the clip and try its best to separate the sky and the foreground in the rest of the frames. This required a huge amount of adjusting and was what took up the bulk of my time. Next, I used a block of solid color feathered out to help smooth out the transition from land to sky, and then I used a plugin called Keylight 1.2 to clean up and control the separation. And moving along, the second step in the process was to make the sky move with the land. This involved choosing a piece of scenery somewhere on the horizon and then tracking it to generate motion data, and then applying that data to my still image of the sky. Dependent on the amount of movement in the shot, there were two different methods I would use. For shots with lots of motion, I used a free plugin called Mocha to track sections of land. For shots with less motion, I found that After Effects' built-in tracker was sufficient to get the data I needed. Due to unforeseen obstacles, I often had to track the same shot from multiple points and use multiple layers parented to each other to get the sky to move naturally and consistently for the entire length of the shot. It's really incredible what a little bit of digital motion can do to sell the realism of a shot. Here's before we added motion, and here's after. And thusly, with the original sky removed and the new sky moving with the land, there was only one step remaining, which was to color correct our original shot to make it look like it wasn't captured in the middle of the friggin' day. This was a simple matter of playing with the exposure, the hue, and the contrast until I found a result that I thought struck a good balance between retaining the visibility of the action taking place in the shot and successfully selling the effect of it taking place at night. Fun fact, it's actually a very common filmmaking technique to shoot nighttime scenes during the day to retain control over visibility and cut down on the amount of physical lights required to capture the shot. And with color correction completed, that brings us to the end. The shot is now ready to be thrown into the timeline and come together with the rest of the shots to form a completed video. If you're at all curious as to how long this took me in total, The shots kind of varied from 45 minutes to like 3 hours sometimes to complete, and there was 22 of them, I think, with 2 or 3 other effects driven shots that I had to do. So yeah, whatever, if we're going on the long end of the scale, 3 hours times 22, do the math yourself. It took a very long time and a couple sleepless nights to finish the project, but it did get done, and I'm very proud of the way it turned out. And now I can say to people that I've turned the night into day, and I do say that to people. Thanks very much for watching this making of video. I don't know if anybody's really interested in this, but if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more, please let me know. That would be awesome in the comments or wherever we share it. I'm not sure yet. And I'm going to leave you with some footage of me celebrating after completing what seemed like a incompletable task. Thank you very much for watching.
Fran? Fran, buddy? What are you doing, buddy?
It's the play of the future, it's the play of the future, it's the play of the future, it's the play of the future.